Hello again everybody, and thanks for checking out another video here on my YouTube channel. Today we are dealing with a redo of part 2 of some ambiance and sound related apps for the Android operating system. The reason why we are redoing it is because Google's AdSense program is a bunch of hyper robotards and can go choke on a fat chubby. They wanted some license verification from the previous part 2, but didn't explain what part of the video that they had the question or concern about. So, in a video that's 15 minutes long and deals with 6 or 7 different things, how can I provide proof if you're not telling me what part I'm supposed to provide proof for? So, suck on it, you hyper monkey tards. Anyway, let's jump into the video. The first one that we are going to deal with, as we skip past ambiance, which is in the first video, and the ambisci ones, which will be in the next. These are so varied and there's so many of them, they'll get their own video. We're going to take a look at blue sleep therapy. What blue sleep therapy is, essentially, in modern society that we have now, we're constantly bombarded by light from TV, computer monitors, cell phones, tablets, electronics with displays on it. We're constantly getting a tremendous amount of blue-white light spectrum. We're overflooded with it, and our eyes are seeing all this blue-white light, and it tells the brain and it tells your internal clock and your circadian rhythms it's day. It's day, you should be awake, you should be up, don't be sleepy, fight it off. That's what blue light does. It's the major component of sunlight and daylight. If you go to a zoo, you'll notice that whenever they have nocturnal animals that they want the public to see in their terrariums and lizard cages and everything, they'll flood the tank with red light. Red light is the major component of night. Blue is the major component of day. So what this app does is it tries to take blue light and bombards you with it, and then it slowly ratchets it down to black. That is supposed to like kick your clock internally, the clock that goes off of visuals, and kick it over towards being relaxed and falling asleep and letting yourself go. So this is a good app to pair with any of the other ambiance or sound apps that you're running in like a sleep mode. It'll also help prevent a little bit of burn-in on your tablet, but it's a good way to match visuals with audio. And the best idea for this is maybe if you had it by your bed, in your line of sight, out to your peripheral vision somewhere, that you can have this hitting your eyes, but not be affected by other things like a TV or monitor. So that is blue sleep therapy. The next one that we're going to take a look at is Calm Radio. Not actually going to play any tracks on here because this might be where Google's AdSense program had a problem the first time. Hyper screwy monkey ass tards. So you have some choices in here. Some of them are relaxation based, like all of these. A sleep channel, healing, spa, elite. This free app will have commercials unless you get a subscription. The commercials simply talk about the app or the website, and they're maybe once every 2 or 3 songs, so it's not too bad, and it's definitely worth a grab to listen to these stations for free and have the occasional commercial. And the woman's voice isn't really too bad, so if you were doing a calming one, try to fall asleep, it's not really going to disturb you too much. The next one we'll take a look at is Dream Sounds. Now this is a medium quality app. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And they've got some different things here. They're mostly pretty solid. I think where this app stands out is the 2 rain ones. Rain and Rain on a Tent. It's not too bad for water. Sounds a little on the sizzly bacony side, but not horrible. This one, as you can hear, definitely sounds like water on a tent or water on something outdoors. Now take a listen to 2 of the ones in here. You have a cat purring. And you have a vacuum. Now I want you to hear these 2 because you'll encounter them a little later on in a different app, and there's a different cat. And I could swear this vacuum cleaner's used in another app. It sounds exactly like it. It sounds like a shop vac. So waves in here is pretty good. The wood fire in this one is okay. Very crackly, very high pitched. You get a little bit of an idea of the flow of the heated air in this one. You can hear a little bit of a roar. And next we will take a look at, we'll skip past Lightning Bug because it is in the previous video. We'll take a look at Maaz. Maaz produces a bunch of one sound apps like Maaz Waves, Maaz Rain, Maaz Nature, Maaz Tropical. The waves in this one are good. It changes the visuals, which means it's not bad to fall asleep to, because you won't get some burn in. And the waves in this one really change. You have some high-pitched sounds of it rolling out, and some heavier sounds of a wave coming in. So there's some variety to it. So Napuru.com to find out more information about those. Okay, up next is MyClockStation Pro. Now, this is a clock that has some sounds built into it, and most of them are pretty relaxing. The only drawback to it is the fact that when you're playing the sound, you can't come back to the clock. You're stuck with the visual for the sound. So there's soothing bells, soothing strings. Their Ocean Waves is pretty good, and there's another one later on that's solid. Evening Crickets, which has some music to it. Soothing Rain. This Tropical Beach is pretty good, and there's another one coming up called Zen Meditation that's good. This one's pretty good, and then there's a White Noise coming up. There's another beach one. And there's White Noise. So sadly, you can't have the visuals go and come back to the clock. And that is MyClockStation Pro. Nature Sounds is in the first video. This one's fairly low quality. I'm going to bring it up real quick to see. This one also has a fire. Just wanted to show this. A little calmer than the first one, a little less crackle to it. And it's got some others. This one's kind of low quality. The jungle one in this one's hysterical. It sounds like the Family Guy one where they're talking about jungle sounds and you hear the rainforest getting torn down and people yelling. Relax and Sleep. Now this one seems rather simple but has a huge amount of options to it. One thing I want to hear, listen to the cat purring in this one. Tell it's an older cat that sounds like he's either head marking you or cleaning himself or something. It's I like this one. If you combine cat purring with the chair rocking, it's like being at your grandparents' house. Another fun one over here is if you combine these two clock ones. It's Pink Floyd. But yeah, the amount of options in this one, I mean, you can layer a huge amount of sounds on here. And some of them are pretty good, this monk chanting one. Monks, the dream sound on this one's pretty good. Those two combined aren't too bad, but I mean, this is huge. You could combine loons, night, and campfire, and it'll be like you're out in the woods. The rainstorm on this one, some of the rain and the water ones aren't that good. Not even too sure what a shishidoshi is. Oh, okay, I know what that is. That's the bamboo thing. So here is Relax and Sleep, and then this is the key which unlocks a bunch of it. Now here is Relax Melodies Pro. This one I touched upon briefly in the first video, but it didn't get a whole lot of time, and it's actually very solid. It has pages and pages of options. If you go to the left, you'll get some binaural sounds. Concentration, relaxation, and then the sleep ones are over here. And it even explains them too. Binaurals you really should use headphones for, but you can lay things like ocean, winds, thunder, some music ones, and you can set the individual volumes of them too. So you can turn off Zen, turn it back on, change the volume. This one is pretty solid for the musical things, but the loops are very short, and a lot of the watery rain ones in this one aren't too good. You'll get a lot of noticeable, just a very split-second gap as the loop turns over, so it's not seamless, and you can hear it'll be like. The problem is more on ICS and Jelly Bean devices. Older ones, it doesn't happen as much. See, this rain is pretty good. But if you were doing this on an ice cream sandwich or a Jelly Bean one, there's a split-second gap as the loop turns over. So it actually pays to have a slightly older device for that. So there's Relax Melodies Premium. And Rise Up is another clock that has sounds. It has stations on it, unlike MyClockStation, but it also has some sounds too. Now, the ambient sounds, I'll admit, in this amp, they're not that good. But you've got some decent radio stations here. I'm not going to turn them on, but I like this font. This one's called Nixie. You can change the font on it, and if you go into more, you can add sleep sounds. There's some binaurals over here, and then you have birds echoing, crickets, stuff like that, fan, fireplace, and you can also add some ambient, and then there's stations divided up. And then you just pick what station you want to hear from down on this dial, and the sounds will appear there also. So this one is Rise Up Radio Alarm. Pretty good. Sleep Now, this one is unique in the sense that it allows you to go into programs that follow you throughout your whole sleep. So you can set 30 minutes of relaxation, 7 hours of sleep, 6.5 hours of sleep, and then like a 30-minute, 15-minute wake-up period. And it's pretty nice. Like you've got a decent amount of options in here, and you can set your own music or their sounds, and you have like a heartbeat, clocks, crickets. The water ones in this aren't too bad. Don't let this one fool you. You don't really need the headphones for the thunderstorm. Their thunderstorm in this is pretty good. But this one's kind of neat in the fact that it will follow you throughout your whole sleep period. That's kind of nice. So, I don't want Swift key. Moving on here in the last little bit of time we have left in this video, we will take a look at some others. White noise. White noise is pretty solid. Sound sleep is very, very good. A bit of that is in the first video. White noise over here has some decent water-related ones. And I want you to take a listen to the vacuum in this one. Sounds exactly like that first one, doesn't it? But the The thunder and the water ones in this one are pretty good. And there's a ton of water options. Shower, rain, extreme rain, lighter rain, rain in the car. So there you go. There's some more sound apps for the Android operating system. Hope you enjoyed these options, and if you're looking for anything to relax or just provide some ambiance, I hope I gave you some options. Take care, everybody.